Hello, me again. This video is kind of just going to be a recap of video one. It's titled Video 1, second video on my channel, apparently. Got a text. Apparently, the audio, I missed it. It must have connected to my headset. So there's no audio on that video, but it was kind of an important topic. It wasn't like incredibly important, but it is something that I did kind of want to talk about. But it was really just about existential ideas. Me and my mom kind of got into the conversation of the idea of infinity, and the idea of absolute zero. So infinity obviously being, something larger than you'd ever be able to comprehend, and absolute zero being absolutely nothing, and everybody always talks about, oh, well, nothing is still something, nothing is something, nothing is something, but they can't really go farther than that, Imagine, like, think with me for a second, if nothing was actually nothing. Like, if there was zero trace of anything, absolutely nothing. If that existed, it'd be pretty interesting, Because then it kind of messes things up, you know? Because then, if there is such thing as absolute zero, then that kind of messes with the idea of infinity. If absolutely nothing exists, right? But infinity does. Infinity means like there's an infinite amount of everything. One like kind of thing like if we're gonna talk about like timelines and different dimensions and stuff like that, then if I bring my finger this way, there is an infinite number of moments from where my finger started from right here in different dimensions that went in every single direction, where I was at every single point ever created, like either here, sitting an infinitely small fraction to the left, right, up, down, at every single corner of existence, you know, yada yada, and every different kind of chair, like literally everything, every single thing that you think about. My BMW car keys could be Mercedes, I could be black, it could literally be anything. And if you include the idea of absolute zero into infinity, or where there's infinite amount of everything, then that means that there's an infinite amount of nothing. But if there's an infinite amount of nothing, then how can something exist? So it kind of counteracts each other. So I feel like if we were to ever prove that absolute zero actually exists, then that takes out the idea of stuff that comes like after death. It kind of takes away the idea of like, what do you call it, like the multiverse. It takes away the idea of different dimensions. It kind of just means that, science was right. Eventually you just die and fade to nothing, I would imagine. The universe eventually ends. You know, Whatever. So it's kind of weird to think about because, if absolute zero actually does exist, that means that nothing really matters at all. I'm not a firm believer at all of any kind of religion or spirituality. I personally believe that whatever happens after death during our life, or what happened before we were created, is an absolute mystery, and no matter what you think, you do not know the answer. And I'm scared of that, and I think it's okay to be scared of that, right? But at the same time, that makes me want to kill myself like really fucking bad. But I'm not going to, obviously, because a lot of people don't believe the same thing that I do, and I care about the people in my life, even if there's the possibility that nothing of that will ever matter, you know, there's a chance that it will, because infinity is real, well, possibly. If infinity truly is real, then that means that the life that I'm living right now could matter. If absolute zero is real, that means that this is the one chance at life that I might possibly have, and I should make the most of it. So regardless of what you really believe, you shouldn't kill yourself. But it does make me wish that I was never born, because then it would like be like, it would save a lot of thoughts, because I don't like to think that much. Thinking is very difficult and I don't like it at all. But yeah, I don't know. Kind of going on a little ramble here, just expressing thoughts. Um, but I mean, think about it this way. We genuinely like you don't fucking know. If you think about monkeys, I don't remember where I read it. It's something like this, but like we're only like something like 2, 3, 4% more like cognitive than monkeys. And if you look at a monkey, you think of it as a dumb fucking animal. You know, and throughout evolution, if infinity is real, that means that there's been much, much more time way out there, wherever some kind of organism has evolved way beyond us. So even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% more cognitive than our human brains, monkeys can only comprehend apples and bananas and staying alive and having sex, right? Humans can comprehend the complex functions of electricity and space, or anything, that you know about. If you're a mathematician, then you know what fucking syntaz and log, whatever the fuck that means. A monkey probably doesn't. Now imagine something that's evolved far beyond us, right? They can probably think of much, like their average thought that they have is probably more complex than anything anyone on Earth has probably thought of. You know? So like think of the most complex theory that you have about existence, or anything in your mind, or space, or whatever. The most complex thing that that's probably like some dumb toy knowledge to an alien. Like they probably like they think of that and they're like, dude, fucking everybody knows that. So it's like, if that's true, then you don't fucking know what comes after death. And I believe that, and I've done a lot of acid, and one thing I've noticed with acid, and this is related, like I will explain, like this is on topic. One thing that acid does is you're afraid, right? It makes you kind of scared. Well, it depends on who you are. If you're taking it like your first time, you're probably gonna be a little bit scared, right? And for some people, they start to experience derealization, where you start to feel unreal, you start to feel different and weird, right? So your brain, what does it do? It starts trying to come up with answers. Like maybe you start thinking like, oh, well, I saw something over there that didn't make sense. That must be a demon. Or something. Your brain starts thinking, starts trying to make sense of everything that's going on because you're seeing crazy shit. So your brain is like trying so hard. You're scared. You're trying to come up with an answer for what's going on in front of you. Now let's think about the first ever human being that watched someone die. They're probably scared. They're like, oh, is that going to happen to me one day? What happens after that? And then they might turn to a little monkey and start praying to it in hopes that when they die, they'll go to monkey heaven. I believe that most religions and spiritualities are derived from fear. I think that when people are scared of what comes next, it's the same thing as how a person on acid might see a shadow and, think it's a demon. They're scared, so they're trying to make sense of something. When you're afraid of something, your mind starts searching for answers. When people are afraid of death, they turn to religion. So it's kind of like, you just don't know, dude. Fucking chill out. I don't know, but it's just like a little like, and I don't know. Fucking chill out and live your life, dude. Like genuinely, I think focusing on the future, horrible idea. Focusing on the past, horrible idea. Even like focusing on the now. Like I like to think about it this way. People are like, oh yeah, I'm in the present. Like I'm like, but then they'll watch the news and worry about what's going on in the news. Like obviously, yeah, like there's some people that like They want to fight for certain things, you know, they want to watch the news, like, oh yeah, fucking, yeah, stop that law, stop this law, pass this law, whatever, you know, fucking wars in Iraq, Afghanistan, shit like that. I like to live life by worrying about what's in front of me, like directly, like what I can see. You know, sometimes I do like sometimes you do need to think about things in the future, you know, like a job or an appointment. But when things are out of your control completely, you know, just think about what is directly in front of you. You know, what is directly in front of you. Not what's going on in your life directly, what's in front of you. And then surround yourself with the right thing. Now, when I say, you know, focus on what's in front of you, don't go to your room and stare at your wall for 7 hours straight. Go hang out with friends. Talk to your fucking family. You know, read a fucking book. Do something productive and do something positive. Surround yourself with the right things. And then focus on what's in front of you. You know? Because if you're just in your room all day and you're focusing on what's in front of you, you're never going to go anywhere. But if you're in college, if you decide to go to college, or you decide to hang out with friends and family, focus on what's in front of you, then you're benefiting yourself, you know? But if you're hanging out with friends and family, you're in college, and you think about something that happened to you in the past, or you're worrying about the future, you're not going to fucking grow and have a good time. The only time you should think about the past is when it's traumatic and you need therapy to help you. That's about it. But yeah, that's my fucking thing for today. It's basically all I talked about in video number 1. I just wanted to bring it back up because it fucking sucked. It was a good topic that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, deuces.